Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Absolutely WSL and Women's Championship Show. But this week, we're slightly different. We are an international special, and I couldn't do it alone. I've got two Chloe squared with me this evening, and we will have a Paul who will be popping up very, very shortly. So I know that Callum excuse me, has been in the chat from even before we even went live because he was very, very excited. So thank you very much, Callum. Lovely to have you back. And of course, we've got our lovely Sam in the chat as well, ready to go. So this week and a half that it's been, we've had penalties converted and denied. We've had yellow and red cards, new contracts allegedly offered, and international retirements. So it's going to be an emotional one from all perspectives. And we can't wait to discuss it. And just in time, we have a Paul. Good evening, Paul.
Hello, everybody. Sorry I'm a bit late.
No worries at all.
I was writing my last little bits to my Skinner rant, I was just finishing that off.
Oh, we've got to be ready for that. We have. So the outline for this evening, just in case anyone would like to know, we are going to do a roundup of all of the home nations plus Republic of Ireland. Then we're going to have a little break in the middle and talk about some breaking news headlines, some of which have just been reported in the last few minutes. And then we will talk about the two Lionesses games in lots of detail. And we'll finish with some predictions for the upcoming fixtures at the weekend, because there are still some to go. So, how was everyone? Right, how are we going to do this? Chloe and Chloe.
Oh, we Chloe Bear. Just use my Twitter name. It's cute.
Chloe Bear. So let's start there. Chloe Bear, how are you this evening?
I'm good. I'm doing well. Excited to be back. Love doing the pod with you a lot. So I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you very much. Glad to have you. And are we just doing Chloe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Chloe without a nickname. How are you? Lovely to see you. Feels like it's been ages.
Yeah. I'm doing good.
Good. Glad to have you. And Paul, was your food nice?
It was gorgeous.
Good. Oh, gorgeous. That's a good.
I'm still laughing that Chloe now has her own chant, by the way.
Yeah.
You've seen this?
Oh, yeah.
She streams when she wants.
There's one fan in the chat. And I love that Simon knows you so well. Paul spent the whole afternoon preparing his Mark Skinner rant.
You have no idea.
Ever since the news was announced, I think you've been penning some ditties to go with it. So we best get started because we have a lot to go through. So it was hard to keep up with all of the fixtures over the international break. Now, Wales had a cracking start. Did anyone else see what Wales got up to? Because they look like a completely new team under Rhian Wilkinson.
She's worked her magic already, hasn't she? She's just...
Yeah.
I don't know what she's done, because it's not like they were bad under the previous manager, was it? It's not like they were, she's just... One thing I found interesting is that Rhian Wilkinson has clearly come in with a if you're good enough, you're old enough mentality. There's none of this, we need to play the experienced players more and we need to keep certain players in the team, like certain other international teams we could mention.
Which we will get onto, yes, absolutely.
We will get onto. And honestly, I have been incredibly impressed with Rhian Wilkinson in just everything in the way she's conducted herself, because when she came in, there was some stick from NWSL fans because of the manner in which she left the NWSL, which was it was kind of unfortunate. She got signed round about the time that all the stuff in the inappropriate manager behaviour in England was coming out, because she left her team in the NWSL through a similar situation, but not because she was fully aware of it, and she actually kind of fell on her own sword and self-reported it.
She did it the right way, didn't she?
She acted with great integrity, and it's a shame that the players at her team gave her the impression that they'd lost confidence in her, because I don't see, obviously I am not a woman and I'm not a professional football player. So on 2 counts, I can't claim to know the thought processes. But also, if a manager has seen that they might be in a position that they might be compromised and come out and said to the team, right, I'm going to deal with this transparently so that you will feel, or hopefully you will feel comfortable and respected. And then the players still turned around and said, oh, no, actually, we're still a bit... That, to me, is a bit off. But
yeah,
that, again, as a bloke and not as a professional footballer, there are 2 reasons why I am only saying what I feel, and there could well be other reasons. So your mileage may vary. I'm not saying I'm right in any way, shape, or form. But back to the football, just the way she's gotten playing, like she shouts at them. She actually properly, she kicks every ball with them. And just, if I was Welsh, I'd be bouncing off the ceiling. I bet Josh is bouncing off the ceiling right about now with the potential for the Welsh women's football team. And, 10 goals in 2 games. Was it 10 goals? Was it 11?
10 goals, yeah. So their first match was against Croatia, 4-0. Massive, massive win to start them off. And then they travelled to Kosovo and they won 6-0 against Kosovo. Now, Kosovo aren't, shall we say, the best side in the world. Sorry, Kosovo. But a 6-0 is still a massive win because I don't know if anyone saw the pitch, but the referee was wearing trainers. It was that hard. Now, how these matches are still being played, because surely that is a dangerous surface to play on. But apparently it was like 27 degrees out there. So it was baking hot playing on a big surface. So yeah, how they weren't injured more, I do not know. But yeah, I don't know how they did it, but 6-0 is massive. And just a little quote from Ryan Wilkinson, actually. She said she promised pre-match that she was looking to implement her own coaching ideas slowly, forming an evolution rather than a revolution. And I genuinely think she's doing it, and she's doing it very, very well indeed. She said they're also what was that for?
Well, if she thinks that's an evolution, because Wales look completely different. They look revitalised. They look because under Granger they got a bit, that maybe a couple of players hung on a bit too long. I don't know, Alex, because as a Welsh person himself, they might be more emotionally attached to the likes of Jess Fishlock, but I get the feeling that Gemma Granger fell into the classic trap of I've got to go with the players that I know and ease these young talent in. And her version of easing these young talent in was not even to ease them in. Like we can Mary McAteer should be playing for Wales at this point. Like
I was just about to say, she got some minutes in the first match, didn't she? Didn't make it onto the pitch for the second. So yeah, so that's Sunderland's Mary McAteer, who we talk about a lot, don't we? And also, who else? Sunderland's Lizzie Dupey as well. She was playing for Kosovo.
Ellen Jones.
We've got, yeah, absolutely.
Both former Coventry players, keeping the Coventry United flame alive. I've got to get that mention in somewhere.
Oh, we've got to. Rachel Rowe had a fantastic match at both matches, actually. Carrie Holland, of course, we know from Liverpool. Fionn Morgan, Bristol City, doing her thing. Kaylee Barton, Charlton Athletic, and of course Elise Hughes got a brace from Crystal Palace in the Kosovo match as well. So yeah, they're absolutely smashing it. I can't wait to see the rest of their campaign because Kluber as well. We were talking about Sophie Ingle, weren't we? And a big revelation there. So tell us all about it if people have missed it.
Yeah, we were. So Sophie Ingle has made the decision to step down as Wales captain after 9 years in the role, which is an incredible achievement in itself, like being a captain of your national side for 9 years. Like, it's amazing. And So for their second game, Jess Fishlock took the armband, and it was actually her 150th game, which again is just remarkable. But yeah, Sophie Ingles stepping down, but we don't know if she's just no longer the captain, if she's retiring from international duty. Like there's not been any further comment about that, but we just know that she's leaving the armband behind and it's going to go to someone new.
Yeah, because she was talking about how it's kind of ready for the next generation and kind of ready to pass that baton, as it were. But yeah, so she's been, a phenomenal leader from, I think, was she 22 or 23 when she first got the armband?
Yeah.
So the fact that she's had it for that long and proven she's earned it, it's phenomenal. But like you said, Jess Fishlock wore the band, and she's still a phenomenal player. Is she 37 now? And still absolutely smashed it. Let's do a fact check. So I wouldn't wish an age, incorrect age. 37. Yeah, I was right. Currently playing for Seattle Reign. If anyone's interested. There we go. I can't English tonight. Good luck, everyone. Alex has asked if she can manage both teams. Joanne Wilkinson. Yeah, she can. Why not? She's definitely got the talent to split herself between both teams. So Wales got off to a fantastic start. Scotland, on the other hand, I don't know if anyone saw, but Sandy McKeever had to be subbed off with what looked like a shoulder injury in their first match, which then leaves a bit of a predicament for a certain Manchester City, because Kiara Keating had to go with, was it a knee?
Yeah.
From camp. Then Sandy's got a shoulder, and of course Ellie Roebuck, we know, is recovering. So nicknameless Chloe, what do you think? Do you think it's going to be best to bring an academy player in? Are they worth getting an emergency loan in? What do you think? What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I think maybe they'll have to look towards academy, depending on severities of injuries. Obviously, could be just a slight knock, but yeah, probably best to go with academy at the moment.
Yeah, it's so I am Groot. Hello, thank you very much. Sandy's shoulder wasn't a knee. I thought she landed on a shoulder. Anyone got a want to raise that one? I will double check, but I thought it was a shoulder.
Somebody did injure a knee, but I don't know. Yeah, Kiara Keating, I think, injured a knee.
Yeah, so Keaton was a knee.
Well, you double check. I can be really boring and talk about the emergency goalie rules because,
yes, please.
Again, I have huge experience of this. For anyone who was watching the championship last year with Coventry United, who used 3 emergency goalies throughout the season due to injuries. And basically, from what I can gather, it is the one team rings up their mates, their goalie contacts, and says, "You got any goalies going spare who aren't getting game time, and can we have them?" Which deliciously leads to the possibility of the Manchester City goalie coach ringing up the Chelsea goalie coach and saying, "Can we have Zsirova Musovic?"
Now that would be interesting.
Now that would be proper Barclays, as the kids say.
I think that's the only option, really, because AKB, I think, is still out injured, and like the other goalie is injured. Nikki,
they can have Fallon Tullis-Joyce.
I was going to say, for the drama, I'm here for Fallon Tullis-Joyce going over to City for the rest of the season. Because she needs game time. She's a phenomenal goalie. She needs more English. Claire, welcome to the chat. First insult in. Thank you very much. You love me and my accent. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, do you know what I think about this situation? I think that they should do a Georgia Stanway from a couple of years ago and get Alana Kennedy in goal. Lani versus Maka. Be great.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
What makes me think about is when I think it was like 2016 or sometime, Man City versus Chelsea, watching the halftime sort of warm-up thing, and Frank Kirby was just in goal for some reason. Like, okay, she's still going. She started off. Yeah, she started off as a goalie originally. But she was pretty good. Yeah, but she didn't carry on.
tiny, though.
She didn't grow. Yeah, I know.
She got a good jump. She got like little
Yeah.
trampoline legs.
Yeah. Well, she scored headers, even though she's like tiny. So yeah.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Oh, I'd love to see Frank Kirby in goal. Just once, Emma. Just for just with that one. And Jaws chimed in. I think City would have strong academy players. I should be able to bring someone up. Yeah, absolutely. With the hello, Emma. Do normal loan rules stand with emergency loans, Paul?
No, you can loan from the same division. But the chances of it happening, because I remember we got one of the players that Coventry United got. I'm trying to remember which one because there were so many of them, but there was definite talk of us getting another Championship backup goalie. It might have been Emily Orman. I'm trying to remember, not sure, but it was definitely that. Well, she's at another Championship team. But I think we went through Saf Middleton Patel, Demi Lambourne, Kiara Keating. So that was why I was so amused when the media actually started going, Kiara Keating's really good, because anyone who watched the Championship said, we could have told you that.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a very long time.
We have been talking about it for a very long time. She's just one of the, we could make about 3 11s of the players we've been talking about for a long time. That's one for the summer. Well, that's one for like another off week. But
absolutely.
No, go on, carry on.
No, I was just going to say, Matthew's had a good shout there. Perhaps Carly Telford out of retirement. Yes. Bring her back. What a superstar.
The drama of Carly Telford denying Chelsea the title, though.
Oh,
imagine.
Brilliant.
Careful what you wish for, Matt. Is all I'm saying.
Absolutely. Oh, imagine if you could just like bring people back out of retirement, though, just for like a couple of games for the rest of the season. That would be.
Hey, if Emma Byrne comes up, you wouldn't have to commentate.
Hey, there we go. Problem solved. Perfect. I will say for Emma Byrne though, I really liked how involved she was in that Island games, like proper on the sidelines, just really like a focal point, which I thought was really good. So to combat that bittersweet reference there. Right, so where were we? So Sandy's gone off, injury pending. It did just say in the match report, by the way, that Scotland suffered a very early blow as goalkeeper Sandy McKeever was forced off with an injury. She went down after collecting an area ball, but would be replaced by Lee Gibson. So it doesn't actually say what she's hurt, but something hurt, essentially. So we do wish her the best of recovery. We've also, talking about Scotland, Rachel Corsie, Villa and Scotland legend, also hit 150 caps of this international break, which is a phenomenal stat for her. I do think, though, so it was 0-0 against Serbia and 1-0 to Scotland against Slovakia. I do think they were missing a bit of Kirsty Hansen. I don't know if anyone managed to watch any of the highlights. It was through BBC Sports, not well advertised at all, but it was on there. But yeah, they just seem to lack creativity. Did anyone else catch any of the Scottish games while they were on?
I do enjoy how you can't have both Scottish teams good at the same time. But there has to be a Scottish tradition. While one Scottish team is going and playing big teams and there's hope and playing at World Cups and whatever else, the other one is losing to like Montenegro. And it's been the men's team for so long. Now maybe it's the women's teams.
Yeah, it's finally that balance is turning finally.
Yeah, it's odd that Scotland seem to be stuttering a bit when they've got quite a lot of talent there. I don't know, there's just something off about them at the moment, but hopefully they work it out.
Well, speaking of managers, did anyone see why is his name gone out of my head? Who's the Scottish manager?
Pedro Losa.
Yep, thank you. He had a proper go at the media. Did anyone else see that? Saying that they're the ones spinning this negative narrative about how poor Scotland have been, and actually they're not as bad as the media are making out. And apparently it's the media that's affecting the players and their outcome. And he had a proper rant in his press conference. So that was interesting.
Familiar.
It's very,
Marco Pinero. Like,
it's just, yeah, I mean, I get it. The media, obviously, we know can spin things, and they do share kind of that feeling and that emotion, like they do spin it. But they're using the stats. So it's, I mean, I know stats don't tell the full story, but a lot of it was that they hadn't won a game in 8, I think. It's been 8 games since they've won. So yeah, so it's not as if it's a massive negative narrative, more than reporting on they haven't managed to win. They have been against some difficult sides, though, higher ranked sides than them. But stats, can you disagree with them? But yeah, I do just want to shout out, though, Sophie Howard, who's having a phenomenal game season for Leicester, said in the Villa game last week, she scored their only goal in that match against Slovakia. So it was kind of that breakthrough, and you just felt like that sigh of relief as that went in for that one. Moving on to, where should we move on to? Northern Ireland. Lots of drama with Northern Ireland. Again, I don't know if anyone else saw these matches, but poor Simone McGill. Did anyone see in that first match? It was 0-0 against Malta, but Simone had 2 goals disallowed in that match. She actually did a bit of a Stina Blackstenius. So she slipped over in the box, got to her feet and scored. And the ref went, I touched your hand when you went down. And she was like, it didn't touch my hand. They replayed it, but obviously no VAR. And no, it didn't touch her hand. But you can't do anything about it because no VAR. So do we think, just as a quick point, VAR should be at this level of international game when it counts towards qualification for the Euros?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Usually the stadiums are good enough as well. It's not like they're playing, in car parks anymore. Like they might be able to claim happened a few years ago, and they still try and claim in the WSL. It needs VAR. To not have VAR at Wembley is ridiculous. That kind of, when it's sat there ready to be used.
Yeah, especially when, like we said, this competition is so important. It's not just friendlies. It does count for something. And again, as we've seen in the WSL, it can mean the difference between relegation and staying up. And Sean agrees with us there. Yeah, massively. As long as it's used correctly, yes. And that is the key thing. Do we have officials that can use it accurately and correctly? Or at the very least, again, Simon, I think, is psychic. I was about to say that. Goal line technology at least should be used. At least should be used in this. But that, again, goes back to the age-old question of officials, high standards, quality. We need that first before we get everything else involved. So Simone McGill had 2 goals disallowed then. And then finally, in their second game against Bosnia and Herzegovina, she got her goal. She finally got it. And Northern Ireland did win 3-1. So well done to them. Now, the other game we wanted to quickly talk about was France 1, Republic of Ireland 0. So if anyone has just joined us, because we've got 2 Chloes, I am referring to Chloe Reynolds as Chloe Bear, as her Twitter name suggests. Not just giving out random nicknames to people, although I can if people would like it. So Chloe Bear, I know you did a bit of research on this one. I was surprised it was just 1-0. So what did you make of it in the girls in green?
Yeah, I was. Ireland were a little bit poor defensively, we can't lie. But I thought that Leanne Kernan was going to score at the end, or at least pass it to Katie McCabe. Because that was a massively missed opportunity for them to go level. It was like you could feel yourself shouting at the screen, like, what are you doing? It was
Yeah, especially because that was near the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, literally like the last minutes of the game.
Yeah, it's like when you're 1-0 down and you need that equaliser. Just pass it. What are you doing? Just pass it.
It's just like a sliding doors moment where if Katie had just been a little bit further, then she might have got it. But it was just like, oh, it's just one of those where you're like, what? But it now also means that it's very unlikely that the Republic of Ireland are going to qualify and they might be demoted to League B. It's fine.
Yeah, because so it's the top 2 that go through, and I have got the groups to look at in a moment. But then there's the playoffs, so they might still qualify, maybe depending on scores, depending on points. But yeah, they have to pick something up, don't they? In order to stay in the game. Absolutely. Right. Yeah, because you'd think if Katoto scores in the 6th minute, you're thinking, oh, it's going to be a long match. What can they do? What can they get out of it? But yeah, 1-0 was phenomenal. And Courtney Brosnan, I mean, we talk about her all the time, don't we? How brilliant she is. But yeah, she had to be very alert during that match and was brilliant. Absolutely. Some massive saves in there to deny a bigger goal difference. Now, we're going to have a slight break for the news headlines before we go on to talk about the Lionesses. Now, a couple of minutes before we went live, there was a Tom Gary report that Sonia Bonpastor has allegedly signed an agreement to take over from Emma Hayes at the end of the season. Now, Chloe without a nickname, as resident Chelsea aficionado, what do you think? Are you happy that she's, I don't know, do you know much about her? Do you think she's going to be a good successor?
To be honest, I don't really know much about her and her sort of playing style, so I'm going to have to do some research, but the sounds of it, it's pretty good, signing, and yeah, another female manager, which I think is good to have that sort of continuity. And we've got not only Sonia Bonpastor, but Camilla Abberley, which is a name from the past in women's football, has come along as well, and medical staff possibly as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I've got no expectations for next season, really. I'm just going to enjoy whatever happens. And yeah, but it'll be interesting to see. And having been a fan since 2015, I've pretty much been a fan all since Emma was there. So it's going to be a different experience, but I look forward to it. Yeah.
I was going to say, because is it exciting the fact that you might get, because it's a new manager, it's almost like a blank slate. So yes, you're keeping the players, but it's almost an opportunity to maybe try something different. Do you think? Is it exciting part of it, even though heartbroken that Emma Hayes is leaving?
Yeah, heartbroken, but yeah, exciting as well. And also we've got some players that are run out on their contract. I think this year that they may or may not re-sign. We'll see. So yeah, could be a bit of a turnover there.
Yeah, we'll see what she brings. Paul, what do you reckon that she'll bring to the role? Because very decorated history. If anyone was going to take over the role, she seems like a perfect candidate, doesn't she?
I think Joe's right. I don't think Chelsea will miss a beat, like genuinely, because
no.
Emma Hayes has been involved in picking a successor as well, so you have to assume that she has approved Sonia Bonpastor coming in. Sonia Bonpastor has not exactly managed a small club; she's managed Lyon, so she's used to big expectations. She's used to big stars and keeping all the big stars happy. She's used to pressure as a manager. Like, who else are you really going to bring in when, as soon as Casey Stoney said I wasn't interested, it was Sonia Bonpastor or Laura Harvey were the only other real names who I was considering as serious. Like, if it had been anybody other than them, then I think Chelsea fans might have had a legit, oh, this is different. This is worrying. What are we doing here? But it's just okay. The legendary manager we've got from England is going over to North America, so we'll go and get the legendary manager from France instead. And just slot in another superstar, just as they do with their team. It's like squad rotation with managers.
Yeah, it's like we're losing a fantastic one. Let's pinch another one. Yeah, perfect. Chloe Bear, any other thoughts?
No, just echoing what the others said, that I think she's going to slot right in and be a perfect fit for Chelsea.
Yeah, I really, really do hope so, because you think the players in that team should be winning everything, shouldn't they? And hopefully they will go very far in all competitions this season. But let's see what it feels a bit weird just calling her Sonia. Sonia Bompasto can do.
Sounds like Sonia from EastEnders to be so Sonia.
I know, that's the thing. I was like, oh, Sonia. Then I'm just imagining, what did she used to play a trumpet?
Yeah.
I mean, a Chelsea band. Could we get that started? Oh, that'd be a good one, wouldn't it? Not just a manager, but we're bringing the noise as well.
Bringing noise.
Brilliant. Now, Paul's been gearing up for this ever since it was announced. Now, everyone get ready, get your popcorn, get your drink, get your whiskey, get whatever you need. Allegedly, according to The Athletic and Charlotte Harper, Mark Skinner, podcast favourite, has been offered a new contract by Ineos. Nothing's been agreed just yet, but apparently both parties are very keen to make it happen. Now, Paul, with their results and how it's gone, why do you think this has happened? Or how can this have happened?
Because Ineos are idiots. This is the worst idea since Napoleon decided to go on holiday to Russia. Genuinely, I've prepared this rant, but now it's actually here. First of all, I'm not a WSL chairman. I would not claim to be of a level to run a football club. But I would consider myself, a vaguely intelligent human being, although some fans, particularly of a certain red London club, would disagree. And my first thought is that if I'm the owner of a WSL club and it comes out I'm thinking of offering a manager a new contract, and all of the happy reaction is from people who aren't Manchester United fans, I might think this is a bad idea. I mean, this isn't so much locking this. This is like deciding to fix the horse bolting out the stable door by shooting the horse. It's just utterly, utterly idiotic on every single level.
Yeah, and Joel's kind of hit the nail on the head there. It's time to move on. He had a good run while it was working. As soon as it hasn't been working, it's felt like he hasn't really been bothered to fix it. And then he's, span a good tail again, the media coming into it. But all he's talked about is, well, I need more investment. Well, I need this. Well, I need that. But he doesn't rotate his players. He doesn't get the best out of the Champions League winners that he's got. And it just seems very, well, if it's not working, why are we so reluctant in the women's game to sack managers? And that's kind of the truth of it, isn't it? Kind of.
You could fertilize a farm with the amount of crap coming out of his mouth. Genuinely. Every single week, we play Skinner Bingo, and every single week he finds a new way to be an idiot. It's just he's hit rock bottom and he's starting to dig at this point in interviews, because he's gone through players, he's blamed investment, he's had a go at journalists like Pedro Martinez Losa did.
Yeah.
He's tried to claim that it takes 6 months for a player to adjust. So Kat Macario is about 6 months ahead of schedule, apparently. And he complains that apparently a team spending £1 million in the summer needs more investment. Maybe you're spending it wrong, Mark, or it helps if you actually use your flipping money. Having bought the players, it helps if you actually put them on the pitch. You know, that big green thing in front of you, put the players on there rather than sat behind you on the bench and see what happens. Like,
yeah.
And the sad thing is, I'm sure I'm maybe not speaking for all Man United fans, but I'm only saying in slightly more colourful fashion what most Man United fans would say. And the fact that I heard certain other podcasts again turning around on the investment thing, and I'm like, has Mark Skinner got something on you? Is there photos in a bank vault somewhere? Is that why is that how he keeps getting jobs? Like, there's just so many red flags. It's like a communist march. It's just. You see, I told you I had other metaphors. He's like,
no, I just love it, and everyone else does too. Yeah, Paul's one-liners are gold. Some great one-liners. Yeah, absolutely. Story time with Paul. Yes, but it's so true though, because so many teams, Villa, Everton, Leicester, etc., like everyone else apart from the top four, would kill for that level of investment, would spend it more wisely, need it, and yet he's still whinging. And just like when you said red flags, it is. And it's not the red flags of United that we want to see waving proudly. It's, all of these things that we're trying to get away from. And people have said, again, social media, it's not, we can't say this for fact, but the way he speaks to the players, the way he treats them, the way reports of, everything that goes on behind the scenes as well. And allegedly some players, do not want him to stay and will look for other options if he does. And the fact that some players, again, allegedly, I'm not saying anything this is fact, if players feel that strongly about it, then surely it's not the player's problem. It's him. It's the manager. So, yeah, there's got to be something going on, hasn't there? It's got to be.
It's like Man United. Man United are basically, I don't know if there are any Simpsons fans around, but all I can think of with the Man United ownership is that famous Simpsons meme of Principal Skinner, Mark Skinner. The fans want Mark Skinner sacked and they're chanting for him to be sacked. The players keep complaining about him. We're having the worst season we've ever had. Could Mark Skinner be the problem? No, it's clearly everybody else that's wrong.
Yeah, and it's going to get to the point where what will it take for some change, for something to happen? Because, lost most of the fans. Sounds like he's lost the team. You can't be a productive, supportive environment.
I think it's his mates in the media keeping him in a job. Genuinely. I think when he has his wife's best mate writing columns in The Guardian to defend him, when he has certain podcasts wanting to back him up because, I don't know, they might get free access to Carrington or something. It's a failure of responsibility on certain women's football journalists' part to not call him out, and there have been some who've done so. Because Catherine Batt she's the one who wrote the article about why do WSL players take so long to sack managers, which is a very good one.
Yes.
You've had Tom Gary has kind of hinted at it in that very polite way he does, because Tom will not say a bad word about anyone, but he's very careful. But just the number of people who back Skinner at this point. Yeah. Is it because they want, most of them are Chelsea and Arsenal fans. So there's your answer, potentially. I'm starting to if there is an awkward. We told you it would be good.
Give them a lifetime contract.
I'm just giving the people what they want,
Oh, we're all here for it.
But you could put 1,000 monkeys writing 1,000 typewriters picking the Manchester United team sheet, and they do a better job than Mark Skinner does every week. Like, you could throw darts at a dartboard, and it would do a better job picking the team and formations than Mark Skinner does every week at this point. You can just see there's something very, very, very wrong at Manchester United, and there is something incredibly wrong if the owners can look at the way it is and go, yes, Mark Skinner is the man we want to lead us forward.
I saw an interesting tweet actually that said, if anyone wanted proof that Ineos don't care about Man United women's team, there you go. There it is. And I mean, we'll see. Nothing's been decided solidly yet.
Maybe Mark Skinner's got a free grenadier out of it. I don't know. He's told Jim Ratcliffe he'll buy a car from him or something. Because there's no other explanation. There's no logical, rational explanation for this whatsoever.
No. And I mean, to be a fly on the wall, that would be perfect, wouldn't it? To see what's actually going on behind the scenes. But yeah, so watch this space. But unfortunately, it's looking like it might happen, unfortunately. And we all said, we've been saying on the pod for ages, if this happens, something dodgy is going on. And looks like we could be right with that one. Now, again, we could go on forever, and I'm sure we will for the rest of the season with this one as new news comes in, but we will put a pin in it for now.
There is some good news. Before we go, there is some good news. At least Rachel Williams knows she's getting another year.
That's true, because as we know, you can't live without her. I mean, I love Rachel Williams, absolutely cracking, but I just wish she wasn't used as, oh, we're losing, let's put Rachel Williams on. But yeah, but another year coming up. In very good news, I've got my Villa shirt on tonight, and I've got Dree behind me in the background because she's phenomenal for Canada, as per usual. If anyone does know how I can get my hands on one of the Maple Leaf jerseys, by the way, please do let me know, because you can't get them in England, and you also can't get them with the printing on the official website. So I don't quite know what's going on. So yeah, if anyone's got any contacts, I would love one with Dree on the back because she's just phenomenal. I say it every single week, and I will continue to do so. So it was the final of the She Believes Cup between the USA and Canada. And Dree scored first. She got them in front. Unfortunately, they went 2-1 down, but Dree scored a penalty. Well, she got fouled, and then she converted the penalty to take it to 2-2 and then ultimately penalties. Dree took the second one for Canada, converted fine, but unfortunately they lost 5-4 to the US on penalties, which, again, we've said before, best way to win, worst way to lose, because you got right to that moment. But yeah, she's a phenomenal player and just can't wait to have her back for Villa, because we need her. And speaking of Villa, Rachel Daly, the news came out today that she is retiring from the national team. None of us had that on bingo cards today, did we? Didn't expect it at all. And Halty there from the Villa Women Fan Club. Just tune in. Rachel's retired. Let's just hope we qualify. We love you, Rachel, of the Villa. Absolutely. Yeah, I saw some people saying, how come Lucy Bronze and Jordan Nobbs are still playing, but Rachel's the one that retired? But you just think, she said she wants to spend more time with her family. I don't blame her after everything that's gone on the past few years. But she just wasn't getting picked, and we've talked about it, and we will talk about it when we talk about the Lionesses match. But can we unfortunately see why she might have come to this conclusion? Chloe, we'll start with you. Can you?
Yeah. I can see why, because of obviously losing a dad in 2021. That's losing a parent is quite a tough thing to go through, really. So that would have been on her mind, and then sort of lack of playing time, really. Thinking she's won the Euros, got to a World Cup final. Yeah. I'm surprised at how old she is. I didn't realise how old she actually is. So she's about that age where it's like, maybe time to slow it down a bit, spend a bit more time with family. Yeah.
Yeah, make that decision. Yeah. Chloe Bear, what do you think? Devastated when you heard the news?
Yeah, I was, and it did come as a massive shock as well. Like, I did not expect to be reading that today, and I expected her to at least get to next year and go to the Euros and then retire. But yeah, it is a tough thing losing a parent, and I bet she probably just wants to spend more time with family. She's also, I think, got like young nieces and nephews as well. But it's heartbreaking, and it's really sad for us that we won't get to see her play at the international level anymore. But we can still watch her at Villa, hopefully.
We can. Oh, we're keeping her forever now. Now that because we were saying in the Villa chat earlier, just kind of how key she is, how important she is, and I think now she's not in that England setup, people are going to really see how much she did contribute and get to a point of, it said in one of the articles, I think it was the Emma Sanders one, that, she'd had a discussion with Serena kind of about future plans and kind of the longevity and what was going to happen. And it kind of sounded like she wasn't really going to be in Serena's plans. So to be fair, I don't blame her, because a player of that quality, you can't have her on the bench, can you? You've got to, and especially not bring her on for the last 10 minutes of a match, knowing full well that's her final outing in an England shirt. So again, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but that didn't quite sit right, kind of looking back at that. Yeah, Emma said exactly the same as us. Really thought she was going to make the Euros next year. She's such a powerhouse, and it's heartbreaking. It's come down to it, and it is. Paul, what do you reckon? If she was playing more, reckon she would have made this decision?
I think England are losing their best striker. Well, their best number 9, certainly. Yep. And I think the way she's been treated by the England setup is shameful, because of someone scoring a back heel. And that is what, and maybe, Serena Wiedmann has done what she's done, but Rachel Daly as a spearhead for England just seems right in a way that Russo doesn't, because I remember when they came to Coventry and Rachel Daly was playing up front, and I remember everyone, or a few people around, were a bit disappointed because they weren't getting to see Russo and, Rachel Daly. And then Rachel Daly scores twice and just plays the perfect, powerful centre-forward game. She's a perfect complement to England's wingers. And the fact that she's been driven to this is possibly the first major blemish on Serena Wiedmann's England tenure.
Yeah.
Right.
Because one of the first things Carla Ward said, wasn't it, was, she's a striker. She's a forward. She's a forward all day long, every day. So the fact that, she was Players' Player of the Year last season, she was Golden Boot winner, and she still wasn't starting as England striker. And you just think, what has she physically got to do to get into that team, to be in that starting 11? She just played right back, left back for England. At Villa now, she's playing more like attacking midfield. And you just think, is her versatility actually the reason that she wasn't played? She was taken because she's brilliant and kind of a reliable, she's going to be there and perform. But actually, could that have been part of the downfall? Chloe Bear, what do you think?
Oh,
good one.
It's a good question.
Thank you.
I don't know. Oh, you stumbled me there.
Anyone else want to jump in? Do we think her being so versatile, was that a detriment?
It could possibly be. So then you have certain players that can play in this position. Whereas it's being able to, she's reliable, can do a job. But where exactly does she fit into the system that maybe Serena wanted to play? And maybe she just didn't quite fit into it. And she's trying to build in some young talent. And we're just wasn't room for her, unfortunately.
Yeah, Paul, what do you reckon?
I think she was screwed over by the hype around certain players and how underappreciated she was. And Serena knew she was good and wanted to get her into the team, but was like, "Oh, Russo's the golden child and whatever else. So I'll play Russo." And there's a player who believes her own hype, if ever there was one. You know, she thinks she farts rainbows listening to the media, but you know, it's just Rachel. The thing with Rachel Daly as well is, I think she was massively underappreciated by people who weren't Villa fans, or who perhaps the newer set of England fans, the post Euros fans, who saw all the glamour of various strikers and whatever else, and that was where all the focus was, just didn't appreciate her. I think anyone who watches football and watches football and watches all of it and doesn't focus on cults of personality on players knows how good Rachel Daly is.
Yeah.
And I think maybe she just stopped feeling the, only she will know, but if I was her, I'd have just stopped feeling the urge. I'm like, why am I going away for my country and missing my family and sacrificing all of this?
Yeah.
Even after losing my dad and having to deal with that, why am I still feeling that I need to sacrifice this for a country and a team that just doesn't appreciate me enough? So she's taken the decision like Leah Galton had, and said, no, family's more important. Yeah. You might want to still pick me, but I'm not dancing to your tune anymore. And fair play to her.
Yeah, unless things change, then no, I'm not doing it. Yeah, absolutely. She's just such a brilliant player, and it's just such a shame that she just wasn't given the opportunity. I still can't believe it to some extent. But it's a bit like Beth Mead wasn't in favour, was she, before Serena came in? And look what a superstar that Beth is, when you've got the people around you supporting you, playing you at your best option. But we've said it all along, haven't we? Russo's a 10. She's much better in that 10 role. She performs better in that 10 role. So play her with Rach. But Russo isn't an out-and-out striker, and everyone that watches will know that. So it's such a shame that, again, we've got these younger players coming in, which is brilliant, but it's for some people like Rach out because there's not a place anymore for her in the team. Yeah, and it's just, I don't know. I'm really, really sad. really, really sad about it. And I know people all day have just been like buzzing off. Sorry, there's a fly in front of us and I won't leave them on. The win over Republic of Ireland, and then today is just kind of roller coaster back down as it has. But she did say, we'll end this section on a bit of a high. She said, it's a day filled with reflection and immense gratitude. Playing for and representing England has been a privilege. And she would love nothing more than to play for England forever, which kind of got me. Serena did say, I've never worked with a player so versatile, always with a smile on her face, bringing energy and trying to do her best for the team. Of course. Rachel's been an incredible part of our story and our history that we've made together. It's been a privilege to work with her. And Rach said she will continue to be England's #1 fan. But it's time to pass on that baton to the next generation of players. And apparently she told her teammates after the victory on Tuesday. So there wasn't a big fanfare for a go-in or anything like that. And I think, I don't know, might have watched the match a bit differently if we all kind of knew. But again, 10, 15 minutes at the end just kind of was a bit of an insult personally for the end of her in an England shirt. But focus on Villa. That'll be it. We'll all be there in daily shirts with that one. Now, the last bit of news did come out earlier from the FA spokesperson account that we all love to see what horrendous news pops up next. Kirsten Kasperine You might remember, allegedly, she swore at the United fans on Derby Day, which I think is hilarious, personally. But she has received a fine and a match ban. Now, I will just get up the actual price. Hang on, because it was stupid. Absolutely stupid. It was, I remember the 61 pence, but I can't remember the rest.
It's 61p for me. It's
61 pence. It was, oh, come on, internet. It was, Manchester City's women's Kirsten Kasperai has been suspended for one match and fined £1,634.61 following the game against United on Saturday, the 23rd of March. Kasperai admitted her conduct was offensive, insulting, and abusive. An independent regulatory commission imposed the sanctions following a hearing. So what do we think of the fact that it's over £1,500 and 61 pence? She's got a one-match ban at this point in the season. And also, if we think about women's football wages in relation to the ban, does it make any sense? Paul, does it make any sense?
I love how the FA could apparently appoint an independent regulatory commission to decide how much a player gets fined for flicking the V's during the derby, but can't apparently if you have to appoint the same commission to check something important like, I don't know, inappropriate manager behaviour. Oh, it's not our problem. Like,
yep,
priorities, FA, seriously.
Yeah.
But also, it was one flick of the V's, like, you know, and
actually, it wasn't caught on camera, and I don't think we've all seen like old pictures of her doing it that surfaced, but not from that match. So it's a bit of a. She's clearly done it if it's been reported, but it's still a bit of a it's grey area.
It's all the panic over women's football has to be family friendly and stuff. If a bloke flicks the V's at a crowd after jump for a massive derby goal, everyone goes, "Oh, it's a bit of a shithouse," and leaves it.
Yeah,
but
in
a world where Katie McCabe exists, Kirsten Kasperai getting fined that much for a moment of, if Katie McCabe does that, everyone goes, "Oh, that's wonderful," that's passion, that's whatever else.
Yeah.
Kirsten Kasperai does it. We must fine her. I think it's built up. I think the FA were out to get her because of her Instagram captions. Right?
Back for being so clever.
for just such and they were trying to work out a way to get her and go, that's goading teams, there's sarcasm, there's whatever else, but they couldn't. And as soon as something that they could even attempt to claim was bringing the game into disrepute, they jumped on it like a sausage dog on a flipping butcher's van. Just woomph.
Sausage dog on a butcher's van.
I'm making these up as I go along,
I love it.
Coming out of it.
I'm just thinking of the T-shirts that we can sell with all these logos on. But it's just the words of offensive, insulting, and abusive. Maybe offensive and insulting, but abusive? It's
ridiculous.
Abusive. That's, oh God, it's horrendous. I don't know who we can complain to, but I know we've spoke about having a lot of petitions going back to the FA and all this, but that needs one. That's ridiculous. And do we think Kirsten is going to have to pay that herself, or is it a club thing?
I think she'll probably have to pay it herself, because it's like with yellow card fines and red card fines, player pays it himself. So it'll be her probably paying it.
I need. Where's the 61 pence come from?
I'm so confused about the 61p. Like, why?
A week's wages after tax, maybe?
Paul, do you know how this is worked out?
Yes, it tells us how much she earns. You can work it out because it is 1 week's wages. So if you multiply that by 52, it comes to exactly £85,000, which is frankly an obscenely low amount for one of the best defenders in Europe to be paid in a year.
Yeah.
and says something about the disparity again between women's and men's football. But yeah, that 61p is because apparently over 52 weeks it makes a couple of quid that makes it up to exactly 85k. So
Paul, I'm so glad you're on the show. I do love it. Yeah, it's a pain in the bum. There's only a couple of matches left. Why just fine. If there's going to be a something, have a fine, but a fine and a ban. Do we think the two together is just ridiculous? Should it be one or the other?
Yeah, it should have been just a fine. I mean, I would have said it shouldn't have been a fine, but if you can do something, just a fine would be okay.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. But that came out earlier, and we thought it was absolutely ridiculous that we did need to discuss it. So Kirsten, we're with you. I did see some people say, "Oh, well, she's a role model; she shouldn't be doing that." But the rest of us have kind of gone. Well, that's the thing. You can't say it's fine for one and not for the other. But we're going to talk about Kate McCabe and Rusha Littlejohn in a moment, because I think Rusha was glad to be taken off when she did, because I could see that ending very badly. So let's start then with Wembley. I was there. It was a very good evening. England versus Sweden, and it finished 1-1. Now, I'm going to let everyone else talk first, and I'll just chip in. Not the best start we could have had, was it? Chloe, what do you think? What were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it wasn't the best start. It was, I don't know, just a bit odd, really. It just didn't seem to be at it at all. Don't know whether that's club football coming into play, where they've had so many matches. A bit of tiredness. I don't know. But also, we are playing against Sweden. They're a tough team to play anyway, but we have beaten them before. Yeah, it's just what we've got to point out of it, which is the main thing.
Yeah, and it kind of, we knew we have to be top two in the group to qualify. We know every point counts, so again, a point's better than losing. But Chloe Bear, what's laugh every time? What did you make of it? Because I don't know, we're usually quite slow to start, but that didn't fill us with confidence, did it?
No, it just felt like the game never really picked up pace. Like it was sort of like just a lacking of pace. I thought Grace Clinton again played really well, and I'm proper happy and excited to see her in this Lioness squad. So I rate her so highly as a player, and the fact that she's getting England minutes is just brilliant. But yeah, I just thought it was really slow. The game never really got going, and to be fair, I'm surprised we even came out of a point.
Yeah, at one point I was like, oh no, this is going to go horrendous. Because I was thinking they've got Rolfer back, obviously, who was our undoing. And all of these key players, we know they're strong. We know they've built since the Euros. And it felt like if it was that hard against Sweden, what's the rest of the tournament going to be like? Paul, your thoughts on that first match?
Well, I predicted a Sweden win, and if it hadn't been for Stina Blackstenius being Stina Blackstenius when through on goal,
yeah,
I'd have been right. And Sweden were just organised. They weren't, but you could see the targeting of a certain right back who thinks she's a right winger or possibly a right forward. Someone should give Lucy Bronze a map to where right back is, because she plays everywhere but right back. And I don't know about anybody else.
What?
The idea that very, very shortly Lucy Bronze is going to be playing right back against Sakina Karshawi and Delphine Cascarino coming down that side gives me the screaming abdabs. Genuinely, I've been less scared of flipping Nightmare on Elm Street than that. Like, genuinely, it's just terrifying.
Okay, I counter that comment by saying, does Lucy feel like, because she normally has free reign of that right side, when she sees issues and gaps, is she not taking on too much? And yes, gets herself out of position. I will acknowledge that. But is she trying to do too many positions at once because of gaps elsewhere?
She's being allowed to do that though. Like,
Oh yeah, it needs to know, but
she's not playing in the system.
No.
Or the system is flawed in allowing her to play like that now, because it's not 2019 and she can't. She's still quick, but she's not as quick as she was in 2019. And genuinely, I think most of the people watching have this weird thing where the rest of the England team are playing in 2024 and they think Lucy Bronze is still playing in 2019 and she's still going to be. And just the World Cup, she cost England the World Cup. That's possibly a bit harsh, but you can legit argue she cost England the World Cup because in a very tight game, it was her rambling off to God knows where that caused Spain's breakaway for the goal. Can you tell I am not one of Lucy Bronze's biggest fans?
Yeah, you can see me and Chloe like, don't say anything, don't say anything, don't say anything.
I mean, yes, she's been a wonderful player, but she's not England's first choice right back anymore. The game has changed, and you cannot have a player like Lucy Bronze at right back. You can have her at right wing and have someone else do the defending for her. And maybe that would be an option, but
I would personally prefer that. I would push her higher up because we've all seen what she can do to score and to be involved in that setup. So who are we bringing in as right back then?
I mean, Maya Letitia, maybe. You know, what with her being a right back at Brighton and Savina supposedly thinking she's a right back. Go on, then stick her at right back. Ash Neville. So if you want to go really left field, Sarah Mailing. Just someone.
Get Maz Pacheco a call up.
Someone who can stick a boot in and go on, Lucy, you go wandering off into a different postcode and I'll do your defending for you. Like, that's just what needs to happen.
I think Maya Letitia is good, but not consistent, personally, because there's been a few mix-ups at United that have been costly. So yeah, if she sorts that out, I'm all for Maya Letitia coming in and pushing Lucy up. But what I don't like reading is Lucy makes a couple of mistakes and suddenly the world's going to end Lucy Bronze as the worst player in the world, blah, 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 blah. And it's taken away from how much good that she does and how much of a player she is. And I will say, though, being there, she didn't stop running the entire time. So she must be absolutely shattered. And God knows how her knee's holding up. But if she makes a mistake, same with Lotte Wubben-Moy, makes a mistake, fights to win it back. And I'm worried about if and when Lucy then does go, who's got that same work rate in that position with that? I don't know. Anyone else want to jump in?
I won't even talk about Lucy leaving because I'm not even ready for that.
Oh, I'm totally not ready for that. She's going to be playing when she's 60. I can't. No, I'm not leaving. She's not leaving.
I generally can't deal with the fact that she will retire one day. I just can't. It's not a thought that ever enters my head.
Well, it's like contracts up with Barcelona this year, and people are like, "Oh, I just think she'll come back to City." No, no, she's just no, not a chance. Yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, this comment here, I am Groot, love it. Are we suggesting a 3-4-3 that where Lucy is up a bit and you'd have 3 centre back? She needs someone else behind her because, like you said, our pace is phenomenal, but as she's getting towards the end of the 90, is that pace starting to lack? Yeah, a little bit. So yeah, I think it needs a change up, but that involves rotation, that involves a different formation, that involves evolution and change, which we're starting to see kind of with some new faces coming in, but it's that willingness to change that formation, that setup. Any other key thoughts from the Sweden game before we go on to Republic of Ireland?
England, sorry, I'm talking too much. I know people think I'm tearing in. I'm probably going to get a horrendous reputation for being the bloke who tears in on everyone. But Sweden marked Kira Walsh out the game and England didn't have any other idea.
Well, that's what I was going to mention. So Gerhardsson said they had a plan to take away Kira Walsh and prevent her from having an impact. But he has said that's not how they're going to play the next time they meet them. Which why tell us that? So yeah, they were well organized and they knew how to find us out. And you're absolutely right. It's a bit like everything has to go through Kira, and if not, then what do we do? It's like that initiative almost isn't there, but we know they have that quality to have that initiative. But yeah, she was just completely marked out. And Georgia Stanway as well didn't really have much of an impact, did she, in that first match?
Stanway playing as an 8 is amazing, but she's got this weird thing with England where she's kind of a supporting role to Kira Walsh, but you're not quite sure what job she's supposed to do in that supporting role because Kira Walsh is that single pivot. So there's no double pivot. The 3-4-3 as well that we were talking about earlier. I mean, people are talking in the chat about moving Niamh Charles over to right wing.
Yeah.
Which is a great idea. And then left side, you've got, again, could you play Alex Greenwood at left back? But because
maybe
the only trouble with the 3-4-3 is that you'd have to drop one of Williamson, Wright, or Greenwood.
No.
And that would just be unless you move Williamson to midfield, which is what I've seen a few people say as well, to almost take the pressure off Kira Walsh a bit, and then you've got two amazing passers sitting there.
Kind of, because we've seen Leah play midfield before, and she's all right, but I much prefer her at the back. Don't know about anyone else.
Yeah.
Again, an option. Another option would be Rachel Daly, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah, awkward that one, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. The option, Rachel Daly, right there. Never mind. Yeah, never mind. Yes, so that was their game plan, and they did it very, very well. As you said, Stina Blacksinius, how she missed, I do not know. Again, commentators ripping into her, saying it's harder to miss from that position than to actually score. And yeah,
Stina, a goalie coming out with that as well.
It was Gilly Flaherty, actually.
Also, a centre back who scored 5 WSL goals in a career. Talking about going to on goal. Yeah,
yeah. So they were going off her as that. And again, Lucy Bronze hate came through for it was her fault that Rolfer was allowed the header. The whole defence was a bit shoddy, to be fair, not just Lucy. But yeah, I suppose if Lucy was meant to be marking her, then kind of her Barcelona teammate, she should have maybe kept more of an eye because they were all ball watching for that goal, weren't they? But yeah, do you think, I don't know, what do you think it is? We just switch off sometimes, don't we? And it just kind of doesn't work. Any thoughts on that? What can we do a bit better defensively? Or what are we lacking defensively? Anyone?
I'm just keeping quiet and letting the other two talk.
Just having to think.
Yeah. It's almost as if like we have like a good 10, 15 minutes and it's like, oh, that's enough now. And then like it'll calm down again and kind of go back down to second gear. And then it's like, oh, we'll go up to third. Yeah, we'll have a bit of time. But yeah, it was just kind of all over the place and kind of in the stadium as well. I don't know how everyone else feels about Lionesses matches, but compared to club games, it just feels really flat. And I think it's to do with kind of the singing, the being together. There's lots of new fans, there's lots of children, which nothing wrong with that. I will say the 3-4 deep begging signs that went right around at the end, that needs to stop. They need to be banned. That's awful. But yeah, it just felt weird. People were doing paper aeroplanes throughout the stands because people were bored. A Mexican wave did fail. That was one of the good parts of the night. Everyone was like, no, I'm not having that. Hate a Mexican wave at a football match. But yeah, but again, I thought England last 10 minutes suddenly went, oh, we need to win this. And had a decent last 10 minutes. Do want to shout out Jennifer Falk, though, Swedish goalkeeper. You can kind of see why she's given Musovic so much trouble for that number one spot for Sweden. How do you think Musovic is feeling, by the way? That Hannah Hampton, who came to be on the bench, is suddenly number one, and she's also not number one for Sweden anymore. How do we think? If anyone's thoughts wants to jump in?
She's probably quite, I don't know, miffed maybe. I don't know. Because obviously she was doing well and then Hampton's come in and like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But maybe she's one of those that enjoys the competition. It's like, okay, maybe I can learn something from this and just wait it out and see what happens.
Yeah, push for that number one rather than giving it. Absolutely. And Chloe Bear, we were going to mention the England women's deaf team as well, weren't we?
Yeah, so for that game, all the Lionesses, they wore their name in BSL, British Sign Language, on their warm-up shirts, which I thought was really good. Like, I really enjoyed seeing that and seeing that representation as well for not only the deaf community, but also for young, like, girls and boys who are deaf. It shows that they can still be a part of it. They can still play the game and it doesn't affect them, because England have a deaf para team as well that play, but which is also like really good and really keen to see, because they're on the England socials just as much as like the first team players are. But one thing that I would say is I would have liked to see a little bit more of that representation, because I feel like all we really did was the shirts. They didn't really mention it. They didn't really say anything at like half time about it. They didn't really mention anything post-match about the reasoning why they did it. So a little bit more of a deal being made about it, because it is a big deal. It's showing people that you can do anything essentially, and that's what the Lionesses have always strived to do. They've always been the type of team being like, yeah, we're just going to do it, and it's the norm. It's completely normal to be this, to be that, and I would just like a little bit more of a showcase about it.
Yeah, because I thought that as well, because in the stadium, so they interviewed the players at halftime. I don't know if they showed that on the stream, wherever it was broadcast. But again, they didn't tell you why. It was just kind of and here's the women's deaf team. And had a chat about kind of what they've done in their tournaments and things like that, which was really good. We learned more about it, but they didn't make much of a thing about it. So it wasn't let's introduce, this is the year they've had, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it just, even that felt a bit flat. So yeah, if they've gone through the effort to put the shirts on with the finger spelling, and you think that's a massive thing, like you said, at least pick it up a bit more. Because did I read somewhere that they're playing at Wembley for the first time?
Yeah.
And that was not the whole point, but it was part of it, saying, we're going to be in this arena for the first time and look at how much we've kind of developed and progressed, but that was never mentioned. So if you didn't know what you were kind of listening to, it was just kind of, it would have passed you by. But yeah, so absolutely, I would have definitely liked more coverage of that. But we appreciate it. We love that it was there, and more, please, FA and the Lionesses. We definitely need more coverage from that. Perfect. Okay, now Republic of Ireland versus England, 2-0. I genuinely thought we were in danger in that second half. So let's talk about it in halves, if you don't mind. So first half, it was a must-win game, despite what Serena said about it not being a must-win game, which worried us slightly. I don't know about everyone else. Serena did make 5 changes, I believe, with Hannah Hampton in goal. I was very happy about that. How was everyone else feeling about Hannah Hampton finally getting the nod?
Yeah,
definitely happy about that. Definitely, because she's doing so well at Chelsea, and so she deserves that spot. Definitely.
It's been a long time coming for her, absolutely. And again, Anna Patton, who's pledged her allegiance to the Republic of Ireland, getting another start, playing the full 90 again, and just showing why she should be getting those international minutes. So again, from a Villa perspective, fantastic to see her getting that recognition. So what did we think about that first half? Because obviously Jess Park was in there. I was hoping she'd start for her pace. Paul, what do you reckon about that first half? Did England do well? Did they come out better than they did against Sweden? Or what do you think about that first half?
I think they did what they needed. Like,
yeah,
again, it wasn't particularly spectacular. It wasn't particularly, and Lionesses games kind of aren't. Since the Euros, they haven't been. Like, it's almost like you watch them going, but for a team with this much attacking talent and not really perhaps utilising some of it, but they're still winning games, and they needed to come out and settle everything down because, the Aviva Stadium, Croke Park, with a massive Irish crowd and all the emotions going back and forth. England's job in the first half was just to not concede, I think, because if Ireland had scored, you'd have had real trouble. Because then you've got the wave of all the support. And the Irish are noisy when they're losing 5-0, so God only knows what they'd be like beating England at Croke Park.
Yeah, because the noise from the fans was incredible, wasn't it? Within that, Chloe Bear, what did you think about that first half?
Yeah, I thought it was a good first half. I mean, when Alex Greenwood stepped up to take the penalty, I was kind of hoping she'd just give it to Kira Walsh, because Kira is 73 caps in and is still the only senior player who has never scored a goal. Grace Clinton scored before her. What do we have to do to get a Kira goal here? I am fully in petition for give Kira the next penalty so she can finally get her name on that score sheet.
Absolutely,
she needs it.
Because they're telling her at Barcelona to shoot more, aren't they? So she just needs to do it for England. Yeah, exactly. Be selfish.
Yeah, be selfish and go snatch that ball off Alex or Georgia and take the pen. We believe in her.
I did have to laugh. Emma, if you're still watching, I am just going to drop you in a little bit here. She said in the chat, she was like, why is Stanway not taking the penalty? Well, she's not on the pitch. Because that's kind of, it's ingrained, isn't it? It's like, Georgia. Yeah, she's a penalty taker. And then it's just she's not on the pitch. Right, okay. But yeah, and kind of at 2-0, it was kind of like, right, okay, can we hold it? Can we not do a Villa and just let all the goals in as soon as they go in? But yeah, as soon as it got to that second half, everything kind of changed, didn't it? Paul, what must have Ireland been thinking in that second half?
What, just
because they completely changed, didn't they?
I don't know what Rusha Littlejohn was doing.
Oh, yeah, right. We need to talk about Rachel Littlejohn. Yes, good. Yeah, sorry I interrupted you there. You go.
No, I was going to say you carry on, because like there's that interesting dynamic in the Ireland team of Rachel Littlejohn and Kate McCabe having to play together, which is awkward at the best of times.
And the shithousery from the pair of them is phenomenal. So Rusha, for anyone who doesn't know, you need to know. She's brilliant. I don't know. But yeah, it got to a point where I thought, you're going to get a red card in a minute. You need to calm down. She went at Jess Park. So for the penalty, anyone who missed it, Rusha kind of went clattering forward, shouting at Jess Park, try and put her off like that. And as Jess Parks fired the ball at her because she's nowhere, Rusha's put her hands up to save her face. Shaban, her sister, actually said anything to protect the Botox, which got us. And yeah, so her hands have gone up and it's been given as a penalty. But yeah, she put some tackles in. How she didn't get a yellow, I do not know. But yeah, she was on her way to a red. But that is kind of that physicality, that very much like you're playing in a playground, shove a leg in. Doesn't matter if it studs up, just go for it, get the ball, win the ball. And I think that grit of that Irish team has got them so far, hasn't it? That determination, that will, that fire, that spirit that Kate McCabe's known for. And it's when it crosses a boundary, isn't it? But yeah, Rusha, I think that was a good sub at halftime, to be honest, to get Rusha off before she did any damage, either to herself or to anyone else on the pitch. So yeah, Paul, what were you going to add on to that?
I just think it's interesting that this is an Ireland team who complained about a Colombia team that was supposedly violent. I mean
they were bad.
Like genuinely, if this that then goes back to the way players of color are discussed compared to people from Europe as well, because if an African team or a South American team played like the Irish team did against England, then you can imagine some of the stuff that would have been said. Whereas with Ireland, it's, they're the Irish, it's passionate, it's Dublin, they're trying to get back in the game, and it's a great fixture and whatever else. And again, that grated a bit on me, some of that. But for me, the game was also almost a bit of a disappointment after all the hype around it. It's England versus Ireland, and the Irish are running around talking about, we're in Dublin and we're going to put on a show and whatever else. And then you have penalties happen and you have a bit of silliness and players letting the emotion get the better of them, perhaps. And it didn't feel like a proper blood and thunder international game. Like it felt like it was all for show. It felt like WWE. It was like, this is how an England Ireland game is supposed to look.
Yeah, it's kind of going through the motions, but not.
Yeah, there was something hollow about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what was going on, but again, everyone's psychic tonight. Yeah, Emma, it wasn't as fierce a game as the media had portrayed it to be. Again, going back to that media and that narrative of what a game should be. I did think Kate McCabe, she got a yellow card in the 92nd minute.
Wouldn't be a game about a Kate McCabe yellow card, would it?
Exactly. And again, then, there she is getting a yellow card again. Should have been earlier, probably, with all the stuff she was doing. But interestingly, I don't know if anyone else caught the little jibe after her post-match interview when she said, England were trying to slow the game down. I didn't expect that from an England team. And it was right. There were time wasting, weren't they? They were properly slowing the game down. They were trying to see it out. And I think it ruins it when they're not playing. I don't know what anyone else feels about. Did you feel that England were? I mean, it was frustrating the Irish team, which again was quite fun to watch. But do we think there's any place for it, or should it be to a certain extent that you can kind of see a game out?
It's sort of game management, really. And look, they used it to great effect in the Euros final. It's like 10 minutes of time wasting.
Just in the corner. Yeah. Just don't need to go anywhere else.
Yeah, I think it was pretty much knew that they got 3 points. It was just like, yeah, keep the ball, don't sort of risk it, you know. I mean, because I think Ireland would have gone on the break, and they did quite often. But it's like, yeah, Ireland sort of lacked that sort of clinical touch in the final third to, you know, cause any damage really. So yeah, but, yeah, there is a place for it. The sort of game management really.
Yeah, to some extent. Yeah, absolutely. What did we think about the refereeing? Because that ref, I know her name is Lena. Funnily, why I remember that. Can't remember her surname. But I thought she did all right. Some strange calls. But overall, I thought it was all right. What else did we think, considering some of the other refereeing standards that we've seen throughout the tournament? Paul, what do you reckon about this one?
International football reffing is, I think it's a different art to club football, because players are often playing a lot more cautiously internationally than they do at club football, unless they're trying to snap people in half, because it's the only way they know how to play. Mentioning no names, Rusha, but like it's just, again, I was surprised Katie McCabe took to the 92nd minute to get a yellow card. I think if I was reffing, I'd just get it out the way early and go, right, Kate, if you're going to be a shithouse, be a shithouse. But you're on a yellow card from the first 8 minutes. There's your level.
Yeah. So watch yourself. Yeah, absolutely.
I think at international level, we're now at the point in women's football where that needs to happen. You need proper strict referees. Like, the referees are still kind of trying to let the game flow a bit. It's like, no, have zero tolerance for a year and see what happens.
Yeah, there's letting it flow to a certain extent, isn't there? But sometimes you just know the card needs to come out, and you set that precedent, set that standard. Absolutely. Now, I was also going to say on that point, the second penalty that England were given, lots of people were saying it's soft. Lots of Irish players, especially Louise Quinn, said some very choice words into the camera. That was right there. And as it was missed, people were like, yeah, justice for Ireland. Can anyone remember that second penalty shout? Was it soft? Should it have been given in the first place? What do we think?
Well, looking at the rules on the FA website, yeah, it was a penalty. It was a penalty, plain and simple. Arms in an unnatural position. Yes, it did bounce off of her, but I couldn't see anything that mitigated that, really. So it was unfortunate, but it's a handball, and yeah, it was a penalty.
Yeah. Everyone kind of agree. Yeah, might have been a bit soft, but it was a penalty. Yeah, good. Yeah, and the cheers as Alex Greenwood missed was deafening.
About that, the kids behind the goal, and the little girl was like, you know, they're like boo boo, and as soon as the camera was on, she's like, oh, I'm on camera.
Oh no, I've been caught. But coming to that point as well, what do we think about Alex Greenwood again taking that second penalty? Do we think Kira Walsh should have stepped up?
Kira.
George Stanley.
Was Georgia on the pitch? But yeah, would you have still kept Alex as that penalty taker, or would you have given it to someone else in that situation?
I'd have given it Alex.
Yeah.
People miss penalties.
Yeah.
Mo Salah's missed 4 of his last 11, and he scored a 87th, 88th minute penalty in a Liverpool-Man United potential title deciding game at the weekend. So,
Well, there you go.
Show faith in them.
Absolutely. I'll have faith in Alice Greenwood all day long. And like we said earlier, Rach finally made her appearance. I've put in my notes, Rach finally on, not soon enough. Hopefully changes the momentum. And again, just her work rate just fills everyone with joy, I think, that it does. And again, just a shame that we couldn't have a Rachel goal as kind of like that final send-off for her. Stats-wise then, 70-30 possession to England, 13 shots, 5 on target compared to 5 and 3 for Ireland. So ultimately, it should have been more than a 2-0 game. However, Ireland certainly amped it up in that second half, didn't they? So yeah, I think for a team that development-wise have come so far in the past couple of years, I'm really excited to see where they go, to be fair, and how far they keep growing, because held France to 1-0, and then our 2-0, can argue, well, we had a penalty. So from open play, 1-0. So actually, they're not too bad. They're not too bad in stats. They do still have to play Sweden, don't they? So let's get this up, because I realise I haven't done any graphics tonight. Sorry, Sam. I do have them all in my arsenal, though. So at the moment, so these are groups A1, 2, 3, and 4. And in Group A1, we've got Norway and Italy. And in fact, if we just look at Group A1, everyone's on 3 points. So that is going to be a very, very tight group indeed. Considering if we look at Group A2, when we've got Spain and Denmark on 6 and the Czech Republic and Belgium on 0. We then get to our group, Group A3. France top the group with 6. England are on 4, Sweden 1, Ireland on 0. And Group A4, we've got Germany on 6, Austria on 3, Iceland on 3, and Poland on 0. So some groups, again, I can't wait to see where they go next. So I believe next match is against France at St. James's Park. And then we've got some going on into the summer as well, haven't we? So what do we think? Have England got a real chance at qualifying as part of the top 2 in the group? As we think right now, do we think we've got a chance?
Yeah, I think we can do it. It's just, we know how to get the results, and that's going to be the main thing, really, just getting the results, qualifying. Maybe the performances will come into it, but yeah, main thing is getting the points.
Yeah, kind of take it each game at a time, not get too far ahead of ourselves, and just concentrate on not dropping any points. Absolutely. Okay. Any other final thoughts on the Lionesses matches before we move on to the final part of the show?
Yeah, can we just talk about Meg Campbell's throw-ins for a second?
Yes.
How have I missed that? Yes, absolutely. Take it away. Take it away.
They're just absolutely insane. Like, the ITV Football put a stat out last night saying that her throw-in was like 38 meters. And it's like,
Wow.
it's
the full run-up as well, and then just like launches it.
So I remember when she was signed as an Everton emergency loan, and she was fuming at how close the barrier were to the pitch because she couldn't run. She had to go like halfway down, like that way, and go up because she couldn't go back. And she was really annoyed about it. But they're just absolutely incredible. Like how she does it is beyond me. Like how she knew she had this skill to be able to throw the ball so deep, because that could have ended up in the goal. Because I know she's done that before, where she's thrown it and it's ended up in the goal, which is really. I just think it's incredible how she does it. It's so good.
Yeah, and comment in the chat as well. Those aren't throw-ins; they're literally free kicks. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I was going to say something there. What was I going to say? Nope, gone. Oh yeah.
You're going to talk about
did you
Josh
hear-
being introduced to Meghan.
No, I wasn't. I was going to talk about Karen Carney. She says on the was it halftime or at the end of the match that they had to practice with one of the machines that spits the balls out really fast to try and prepare for a Megan Campbell throw-in because they couldn't physically practice like any other way. And I just thought, that's mad. That's insane. That that's the level of practice they had to get in.
She hyperextends her shoulders with every throw.
The what? Sorry.
She hyperextends her shoulder with every throw, so her body does something it's not actually supposed to do with every throw in. Like, she is literally not human, launching those throws in.
No, she's not. Because I saw someone going, is she even allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, if she wasn't, she would have got picked up on by now. We'd hope so anyway. But yeah, she's just phenomenal, isn't she? With that one. Right, brilliant. Any other final bits before we go on? No, we're good. Okay, right. Last couple of things then. So thank you everyone who's watching, who's joining us, who's been in the chat. Just a couple more things to go. So there are some upcoming fixtures this weekend in the Championship, the WSL, and the FA Cup semi-finals as well. So let's start, shall we? With the FA Cup semi-finals, we have got Spurs versus Leicester City, which is on Sunday at 12 o'clock. And then we've got Man United, Chelsea, which is also on Sunday at 2:35. Now, looking ahead to these ones, we had a preview, didn't we, of Spurs Leicester the other week. And Man United, Chelsea, this is United's final chance of maybe winning something this season. However, against a Chelsea side who do not lose very easily, do they? So what our thoughts? So let's do Spurs Leicester first, kind of go around, see how we're feeling about that. So Chloe Bear, what do you think? Spurs Leicester.
Oh, I think that's going to be a good game. Like, I think both teams are going to come out fighting because both teams won that trophy. I think it's going to be a close one. I definitely think it's going to be close between the two, but I'm kind of piping it as a Spurs win.
Yeah, it might just pip it. Yeah, Chloe, what do you reckon?
Yeah, probably about the same. It'll probably be just one goal in it, and it'll be a Spurs win.
Paul, what are you thinking?
I'm going to go the other way because Shannon O'Brien plays for Leicester, and I've got to represent the hometown. Got to represent Coventry.
Got to, absolutely.
But I think it'll go more than the 90 minutes. I think there's a 120-minute game there. Whether it'll go to penalties or not, I don't know, but I think it's a 120-minute game because they're that close. Yeah,
absolutely. And especially with Rantler doing Rantler things on international duty, I think she'll be raring to go and put up a good fight against Spurs. Absolutely. Okay, so we've said that Spurs, well, we're completely divided, aren't we? I don't know. I might say Leicester, to be fair. I might go Leicester with that one. So we're split. We are evenly split. Right. Okay. So let's do United, Chelsea. Chloe, I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Will they? I was going to say, how will kind of all the match fatigue kind of go? But I mean, anyone, you could pick any 11 players, couldn't you? And all quality can just come on the pitch. So yeah, Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea. I think having lost the Conti Cup, that'll be the fire they need. I'd watch out if I were United, really, because it could get nasty.
As long as they sort out, are they using a single ball or a multi-ball system before the game starts? That would be great.
And Mark Skinner don't have to go at any of our players because he might feel the wrath of Emma Hayes.
Yeah, because then she will hopefully get a fine and get some consequences for shoving someone. But yeah, so hopefully that doesn't happen, and it's drama-less in that one. Clue Bear, what do you think? United?
Yeah, I think Chelsea. I think Chelsea by a mile.
Oh, by a mile. Any score predictions to back that up?
4-0, maybe.
Oh.
I'm going big.
Well, go big or go home. Absolutely. 4-0, right. Paul, what are you thinking? Do United have any chance? Oh no, Paul. Come back. Okay. I'll keep talking. Paul, shout when you're back.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Hey.
Sorry, I'm dropping in and out.
It's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I didn't want to miss you. So yeah, do United have any chance, or is this Chelsea's, or is it Chelsea's to lose?
Where'd we gone?
Paul,
Come back.
we need you.
Technology.
Oh, you're back.
It's,
back.
you can-
Oh, he's a
Now
robot.
it's turned into a robot.
Yeah.
We're not back.
Okay, we'll keep talking if we get Paul back. Then he can give us his predictions. Refresh, Paul, refresh. Or is he back? Paul.
Don't worry about it.
This is just like a comedy of errors, this, right? Okay. I think that, yeah, I mean, I can't see Chelsea losing, to be fair. United might come out and they might dazzle and start strong, but I don't think that, even if they do go ahead early, I don't think they can keep a lead. I don't think Chelsea are in that mindset to take any prisoners, are they? So yeah, I might have to go Chelsea for that one. Sorry, United fans, with that.
I think we can probably guess what Paul would have said.
Absolutely.
United,
No backing of Skinner whatsoever. Right, and there's also some championship games going on. We've got, let's just put that on the screen. We've got Blackburn, Reading, Crystal Palace, Birmingham, Watford, Charlton. Now, out of those, of course, we've got Crystal Palace, Charlton, and even Birmingham to some extent, all still fighting for the top spot. So I will let you two. Oh, Paul, you back?
I think I'm back in. Sorry. Probably good
It's fine.
job I went out for Man United versus Chelsea, wasn't it?
Well, we kind of assumed we knew what your answer would be, but just to confirm, Man United or Chelsea?
Chelsea winning 4 or 5-1, and then Man United will get a consolation off Rachel Williams' backside or something, and Mark Skinner will say they played well.
That sounds word for word. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Let's do that. Yeah, Rachel Williams sub at about 62 minutes. And yeah, she'll get the consolation. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Perfect. Now, we had just started with the championship. So we just said, Paul, that Charlton, Crystal Palace, and Birmingham, to some extent, are still fighting for those top spots. So I'll leave that on the screen. I'll just get the championship table up so we can look at points as it stands. So we've got Sunderland are still top on 40 points. Crystal Palace are behind them on 39 points. Okay. So if Crystal Palace win against Birmingham, they go ahead of Sunderland. And let's just have a look on goal difference. Yeah, they've got a massive goal difference. So what do we think, with Birmingham currently being 5th on 33 points? What do we think of Birmingham? Hopefully Birmingham get the draw and then it's just a point and then the level with Sunderland and it's fine. But realistically, what do we think? Crystal Palace, Birmingham. Who's going to get that one?
I think Crystal Palace will just edge it.
Yeah, because they've been prolific scoring this season, haven't they? Paul, what do you reckon? Can Birmingham hold out for a draw, or is that Crystal Palace's? Oh,
I go and they stay in the race, because if they win, they stay in the race, and then it gets really interesting.
yeah. I mean, I'd love a Birmingham win, to be fair. So yeah, that one's going to be one to watch. With Blackburn Reading. So again, just getting the points up. Blackburn are 7th on 29 points, so they're not really troubling anyone. Reading, however, are on 18 points in 10th. Lewis are behind them on 16 points. Watford behind them on 12. So again, we'll put this back on. So Blackburn, Reading. How do we all feel? I think that might be a Blackburn win. What? See some nodding heads.
Yeah, Blackburn win.
Yeah, Blackburn are gonna.
Yeah.
They're gonna get it done. So if they do win, that will take them above Sheffield United into 6th, but again, still not troubling anyone. Very firm mid-table. Reading, if they do win, they will then go above Durham in 9th. And I think we said at the beginning, Durham look like, a team that, if anyone's safe, it looks like Durham. But actually, they've been dropping and dropping and dropping. So watch this space for that one. Even a point, to be fair, for Reading. Then there would just be 1 point behind Durham on that one. Then our last fixture is Watford-Charlton. Watford-Charlton. Now, to put that into perspective, Watford are last. They're in 12th place on 12 points. And Charlton, again, pushing. They're in 4th place on 36 points. So could Watford steal something, do we think? Or is that Charlton's all day long?
Yeah, I think it might be a Charlton win. Although Watford have been quite a good team before, but just doesn't seem to be the season.
They've had moments, haven't there, where you think, oh, actually, could you hold on to this? Because they've got Michelle Adjman back from her knee injury, and we know she's an absolute machine. They've also got Carly Johns, who's been a key player for them. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting indeed. Paul, are you still there? Yes. Yeah. Maybe so. We'll have an echo with Paul. Okay, that's fine. So probably that's going to be a Charlton win again, keeping them in the title race. So that would take them to 39 points above Southampton for that one. So that would take them to 3rd. So again, we say it every week, but we'll say it again. If you are not watching the Championship, you need to be, because that is where all of the drama is. And we've also got a catch-up WSL match, which is Arsenal-Bristol City. So I think I can kind of see where people might go with this. But what do we think? Arsenal-Bristol City.
Arsenal all the way.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. Stranger things have happened. But yeah, so Arsenal are on 37 points. Bristol are on 6. Right at the bottom. And unfortunately, looks like they are going to be relegated this season. And I'm gutted for them because they've had so much fight. It would just be such a shame for them to be like a yo-yo team. But there's still a couple of games left. Still a couple of hopes left for that one. Right. Okay. Oh, Paul's just put in the chat. He's dropping in and out, but he's got to agree Arsenal will get the win. Now, I think that might be everything, everyone. So one more thing I just want to brag about that I have said on socials. But this week, it was my birthday last week on Thursday, and my friend Camilla, who is wonderful, she lives in Italy, and she went to the Italy match, and she met favourite player of mine, Martina Piemonte, who's behind me there, and she got her to record a birthday message for me. So I now have a personalised video message from Martina Piemonte in Italian, very quick Italian, I might add. But yeah, so I thought I would just like to share that with you all because I constantly go on about how much of a fantastic player she is. And now she knows my name. So there we go. Share that with you. I also walked past Leah, Kira and Georgia in Piccadilly Circus the other day in London as well. And loads of people were going, how did you not speak to them? But they were having a really nice afternoon out, just shopping, and no one was noticing them. And they were just having a lovely, relaxed afternoon. And I was kind of like, I don't want to disturb that. I really don't. So just kind of enjoyed that moment. And going back to kind of fan interactions, it's knowing kind of when's appropriate, isn't it? And kind of you gauge that situation with that one. So I hope they had a lovely afternoon shopping. And it was lovely to see them so relaxed. So we shall leave it there. Now, has anyone got anything else they want to say before we go, by the way?
No, I think that's about it.
Perfect. I love how I said earlier, yeah, we'll do an hour and a half, and it's nearly 2 hours again. So thank you so much to every single person in the chat who's been involved. If you've dropped in and out as we've been talking about different themes, thank you so much. Now, if you would like to follow more of us on the Absolute Football team, because remember, we are not just WSL and Women's Championship, there's the Lower League show and the Premier League show as well. So if you want to follow more of us, we are on Twitter at Absolute Ball Pod, on YouTube at Absolute Football Podcast, TikTok at Absolute Football Pod, Instagram Absolute Football Podcast _, and on Facebook the Absolute Football Podcast as well. We do have a new socials image which looks really, really good, but it said corrupted and wouldn't upload. So I will fix that for next week, everyone. Don't you worry. Now, Chloe Bear, thank you very much for joining us this evening. If people would like to find more of you, where can they find you?
So I am on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Chloe Bear 529.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And Chloe, if people want to follow more of you, where can they find you?
Yeah, they can find me on Twitter at England Lionesses.
Perfect. And I've been Freya. Thank you very much. You can follow me at TFreyaTWright on, let's have a think, Twitter, Instagram. Yep, that's it. Or you can follow me and Lindsay for all things Villa related at the whole 115 yards. And that's across everywhere, including TikTok, because we're trying that. We're trying to be cool. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching, listening, getting involved. And we will be back next week, as usual, at 8:30. So thank you very much. Good evening and see you later.